Huge potential for livestock resources development in all aspects, be it live animals and meat, dairy and dairy products, apiculture, honey products, and also fisheries, including poultry, both for production of eggs and broilers.
Ethiopia is endowed with rich livestock potential. Livestock has been base for millions of Ethiopian smallholder producers and pastoralists. They use it either for farming-related activities or as livelihood to earn their lives. Due to lack of attention by stakeholders, the sector remains underdeveloped and is not able to benefit the country to gain the required economic development. Since recent times, it seems that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has taken the initiatives to begin tapping the sector. It is disclosed at 21st Annual Conference of Ethiopian Society of Animal Production that Ministry of Agriculture has established a State Ministry of Livestock to work better than before.
In line with the government's strategy, I would like to express the commitment of this recently established Livestock State Ministry to work towards the commercialization of the livestock sector in an ever-increased depth and breadth. The directorates and institutions under the State Ministry will all be working in partnership with all other stakeholders.
Gabriel Yohannes, Livestock State Minister of Ethiopia, said the sector has been given prime attention by the government.
The government of Ethiopia, being well aware of the country's untapped huge livestock resource and recognizing the potential contribution of the sector to the country's economy as well as food security, has given a due attention to the sector and listed it among the country's priority development agenda.
The newly established Livestock Ministry is mandated to contribute towards creation of modern and highly productive agricultural system that uses more advanced technologies, scaling up good practices to increase production and productivity of the livestock, prevention of animal disease, supporting private investments and facilitating the participation of private sector in production and processing are among the core activities of the ministry. It also collaborates with national and international research systems towards advancement of the livestock sector. Getachew Gebru, President of Ethiopian Society of Animal Production, says the contribution of the association in research, policy and development areas has been immense in livestock development.
CLOSEUP has made significant change to position itself in shouldering its responsibility as a professional society and also as an umbrella for much bigger national tasks that can have significant contribution towards research, training, development.
According to Dr. Getachew, members of the association and other stakeholders share knowledge and information, which is essential to enhance the quality of livestock development in the country.
The knowledge sharing is increasingly seen as a sine qua non to professional survival. And it is the vision of CLOSEUP to be able to agilely share this knowledge among its members and partners.
The Livestock State Minister underscores that any research conducted to improve the sector needs to be communicated in organized manner.
The research, development and policy recommendations amongst many should remain the main outcome of CLOSEUP annual conference, and therefore such efforts should be given particular emphasis, strengthened and well communicated to the concerned government bodies via appropriate channels.
He vows that Ministry of Agriculture is committed to work with concerned bodies towards achieving progress in livestock development. He has also stressed harmonization of various stakeholders is fundamental for effectiveness of value chains.
The unified vision, synergy and harmonization of stakeholders that is required along the value chain are critical factors for this approach to be effective.
Some members of the Ethiopian Society of Animal Production have presented research papers that assess both the challenges and possible solutions of livestock development. Girma Abebe from USAID Livestock Market Development has presented a research work that covers the challenges of meat, milk production and animal feed, among others. He asserted in his research work that if both producers and exporters of animal work together in value chains, they can reduce the challenges they are facing. He also stated involving the private sector in the production of animal feed is essential to satisfy the demand. He stressed attitudinal change is fundamental in this regard. Dr. Azaga Tagany, a senior scientist at International Livestock Institute, expressed his view that traditional ways of handling the production need to be modernized.
The population, the livestock population in the country is very huge. But again, the paradox is we're very much attached to traditional livestock production system. This has to change to reap the benefits of the livestock sector It is currently producing quite a lot of income, including foreign earnings through live animal export, meat export, skins and hides, and the leather industry. We would like to see more of engagement in the area of livestock development, particularly in dairy, poultry, fisheries resources development, apiculture development, so that the sector can contribute fully to the economic development of the country.
He went on saying that the association has helped a lot to transform and modernize livestock production in all aspects.
It deals with technological issues that relate to livestock production and management. When I talk about production, basically that deals with smallholder farmers and pastoralists. It also deals with organizational issues and also institutional arrangements that best suit for the development of the livestock sector. In the area of extension, if you consider livestock development per se, we have contributed significantly through production of training materials for farmers, for development agents, so on and so forth, and also in terms of advising the government, the Ministry of Agriculture in its institutional arrangements. For example, ESAP members made quite a significant contribution for the establishment of the Ethiopian Meat and Dairy Technology Institute in Dabizet, Bishoftu, EMDTI. And now recently the government has approved the establishment of Livestock Development State Ministry under the Ministry of Agriculture. So I think these are significant contributions from ESAP.
He expressed his hope that if the established State Minister of Livestock and other stakeholders do their best, the nation can tap much fruits. Hazara Getaon from Pastoralist Forum Ethiopia on his part says creating a common platform for producers and users is vital to maximize the production and productivity.
We know that in Addis even 30% of the milk is coming from outside, but we'd have produce and even export. You know, the Kenyans self-sufficient in milk production. Just I was in Nairobi recently, and their Minister of Agriculture was explaining that Kenya is becoming self-sufficient in milk production, but they're less potential than us. So that, you know, the feed distribution and, you know, the breeding policies and, you know, some incentives specifically, you know, for in terms of credit, in terms of giving land, you know, for the peri-urban agricultural production, so that, you know, the milk supply, it's not a big deal. The milk supply, just we can produce more milk than even we need, and we can even process and export it. There is a huge potential. That's why, you know, the GTP is planning, you know, a lot of activities.
Our forefathers paved the way for posterity to coexist in harmony. As a result, Christians, Muslims, Jews, traditionalists, and all others have lived side by side peacefully in Ethiopia for thousands of years. This is something that's definitely cited as a role model for the whole world. A national conference on religious tolerance and coexistence has been held starting from August 27 to 29 with the aim of strengthening the long-standing value of peaceful coexistence among religions in Ethiopia. The three-day conference was jointly organized by the Ministry of Federal Affairs and the Ethiopian Inter-Religious Council under the theme, "We shall strive to realize Ethiopia's Renaissance through strengthening the value of religions, coexistence and respecting constitutional provisions." On the occasion, Minister of Federal Affairs Dr. Shifarao Teklemaram said the conference would help exploit the age-old religious respect and tolerance in Ethiopia to consolidate peace, democracy and development. It would also help bring national consensus on state-religion relations. Addressing the opening session, Prime Minister Hailemariam Desalegn thanked the nations, nationalities and peoples of Ethiopia for their effort in combating fundamentalism and terrorism and called upon all citizens to maintain their effort.
የሃይማኖት ተቋማትን በዚህ ረገድ ያለባቸውን ከፍተኛ ድርሻ በላቀ ደረጃ ለማበርከት
I urge religious institutions and religious fathers at all levels to work for the existence of tolerance and ethics among their followers by creating awareness, work jointly and by organizing consultative forum.
He emphasized that Ethiopia's constitution clearly showed the separation of state and religion. The state does not interfere in religious matters and religion shall not interfere in state affairs.
ሕገ መንግስቱ የእምነት ነጻነትና እኩልነት እንዲከበርና የመንግስትና የሃይማኖት መለያየት በሕግ እንዲደነገግ ማድረጉ
The contribution of the Constitution is a lot as it clearly entails equality of religion, freedom of belief, equality of multinationalism in black and white. In addition, it comes up with a favorable environment. Hence, religion and government are two different entities that merely gives individuals a right to follow their own religion.
According to the Premier, the fulfillment of this required the full respect of both individual and people's fundamental freedoms and rights to live together on the basis of equality and without any discrimination of gender, religion or culture. He said the government would continue taking legal measures against such attempts by religious fundamentalists. On her keynote speech, AUC Commissioner for Political Affairs, Dr. Aisha Abdullahi said the principles of tolerance, empathy, sharing and dialogue are some of the fundamental elements for national peaceful coexistence and development in any country.
Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and the Interreligious Council on this noble mission, I am optimistic that the country's long history of religious tolerance, hospitality, peaceful coexistence and respect among the different religious communities will be sustained.
The conference was also addressed by the Patriarch of the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church, Abuna Matthias, and President of the Ethiopian Islamic Affairs Council, Sheikh Kia Mohammed. Both leaders emphasized that peaceful coexistence and tolerance are basic tenets of all faiths. The conference and its second-day program entertained 3 study papers on religious extremism in Ethiopia and its solutions, the role of women and youth in the national peace-building process, issue of peace and development in religious institutions. The first study presenter, Dr. Shifarao Taklemariam, who is Minister of Federal Affairs, underscored that currently it's impossible to find a single reason which could be a baseline for religious extremists and fundamentalists in Ethiopia.
We don't have a community that rejects diversity. Traditional community-based institutions have never made their basis on religion or ethnics. The people of Ethiopia can only be explained in terms of its long-standing culture of tolerance and coexistence. In addition, this democratic government system has also accepted the diversity and equality of all religion. So the country has no any foundation for extremists and fundamentalists.
Dr. Shifarao indicated that the idea of some groups has nothing to do with religion, rather they are operating under the guise of religion mainly to solicit funds from abroad, to gain political power indirectly and to create religious-based state which is in sharp contradiction with the constitution. He also said the other grand cause for extremism is poverty and backwardness, so that the country should remain steadfast in expediting development endeavors.
The prior factor for our exposure for extremism is poverty and backwardness, so all of our focus should be on development and poverty reduction endeavors.
Chair of the panel and senior policy and research advisor to the Prime Minister Barakat Simon said the Constitution has clearly assured religious freedom and has closed all the doors on extremism. The second paper for the day discussed the role of women and youth in national peace building. The presenter of the study, Hirut Delobo, head of the Women's Affairs Council under the Ministry of Federal Affairs, assessed the historical backgrounds of women as the guardians of peace and tolerance in the country. She also said women are on the forefront to be subject to any crisis, so that they have to play their role in controlling any signs of intolerance which could lead to violence. The National Conference aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence and tolerance among religious groups in Ethiopia, organized by the Ministry of Federal Affairs and the Ethiopian Inter-Religious Council, was attended by some 2,500 participants from across the country. Some of the attendants we interviewed were supportive of the idea of the papers presented.
We should denounce extremists as a community, religious institutions and government. The problem of extremism is causing national damage in many countries. We should not let that happen in our country. Religious institutions should not have political agenda. If they have political issues, there is another place for that. But it's unjust to raise political agenda under the pretext of religion. We're preaching this idea to the faithful.
Ethiopia is a country for all nations, nationalities and religions. It is in this base that we build a peaceful and prosperous nation.
The second day deliberation of the National Conference has concluded by adopting a resolution by the National Inter-Religious Council and participants to promote the peaceful coexistence and religious tolerance. An exhibition depicting the development activities of religious institutions in Ethiopia at the AU headquarters on August 29 was also part of the conference. While officially opening the exhibition, Federal Affairs State Minister Omer Dubong said the event clearly shows religious institutions are taking part in development endeavors apart from their religious teachings.
There are many national issues that bind us religious institutions to work together for a common goal. Among these are ensuring peace in the country and alleviating poverty by taking part in various developmental activities of the nation. The exhibition by the religious institution clearly shows their determination in taking part in different national issues.
Exhibition participants also said that the religious institutions are playing a significant role in the overall nation building activities.
Any religious institutions should play their role under their respective faith and work for the betterment of the society by alleviating different problems. They should engage themselves in developmental activities of the country through fighting poverty and backwardness.
I could see many impressive developmental activities performed by religious institutions here at the exhibition, and all of them need to afford what they have been doing.
As per the communique issued at the concluding National Inter-Religious Conference, promoting the peaceful coexistence and religious tolerance shall be everybody's role.